Lee, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
What brings you to Intersolar?
So Intersolar is, in my opinion, the largest gathering of people in our industry here in Dubai, which is our company's headquarters. We started the company here last July 2015, and really see ourselves as a key player in this local market, participating in the distributed generation market, and a great way to meet a lot of people who are traveling to Dubai and operating in other countries where we also do work.
You've started a company that does personal generation that is pre-funded.
Yeah.
How does that work?
So if you're a commercial industrial company, we can have a conversation about how much energy you buy from DIWA, in this case DIWA in Dubai, and what your property's space looks like, rooftop space or parking lot or the space beside your factory, and we can size a system that meets your needs. We will then go on, build it, make the investment, and sell you the solar energy from that. So you don't have to worry about any of the technical details. That's all guaranteed by us, or the need to allocate capital from your business to solar. So that's our value proposition.
Obviously, you're breaking new ground. How are you educating the market?
We have a direct sales team here, and we also work with a variety of what we call channel partners, where companies have a relationship with a particular company, whether it's through the construction industry or otherwise, and we'll be introduced through them, and we work with them to educate our customer on what the opportunity for solar is.
Are there geographical limitations to where you can roll this model out?
So one thing that makes it possible here in Dubai, why we started the company here, is that there's a net metering legislation. So we're able to generate solar power on site, feed it into the grid when it's not being consumed on site, and then use that surplus later in the day, at night, for example. So that kind of legislation is what makes it possible to size a system of a reasonable size for a company. That's also possible in Jordan, where we operate. And as other countries and territories begin to move forward with the commercial industrial solar, that's probably what we're going to see elsewhere.
Do you see that this model could be deployed elsewhere outside this region with some changes perhaps to the way that you deploy?
Well, net metering is good in general. I mean, it's there's different levels of commitment from a government on how they want solar to be implemented. You see a lot of countries where there's a feed-in tariff, where the government commits to buying that electricity at a certain rate. We also participate in those when there's a smaller scale system need from a utility, for example in Turkey or elsewhere. But yeah, net metering in an environment where solar can be generated in a cost competitive way is a real enabler for commercial industrial solar.
Where's the main driver for somebody to come to you and say, we're interested in doing this?
So our sort of value proposition is threefold to a customer here in Dubai. We can save them money on electricity right off the bat. We can help them lock in a rate, so they eliminate the uncertainty in the DIWA rate for the duration of the lease term that we're talking about. And thirdly, they get all the sort of natural CSR benefits of solar energy. So the companies that tend to be our early adopters in this market are ones where they have a global leadership who has mandated CSR related activities. So that's the thing that will trickle down into this region, and we can work with those companies to implement solar. That also happens with regional companies who have a CSR desire, and that's a good group of early adopters. I'd say those are the two main categories of companies who are at least our early customers, and ultimately we think once the market reaches a certain level of penetration, we'll have the masses joining. Like any new technology or new system, there's a little while that of proving itself out. So we're watching that now.
What are the next steps?
We're going to continue to sign up customers here in Dubai and in Jordan, and as I said, be involved in the market, educating the customer base, and being involved with the regulators as well to give feedback on how things are working. We're also expanding into other countries in the region, both smaller utility scale, so sub 10 megawatt plants where there's a feed-in tariff, or commercial industrial customers. And by virtue of being here, that means we can go to India and Pakistan, or north to Turkey, or over to Africa, and each of these regions has its own regulatory framework as well as challenges for businesses.
Fascinating. Lee, thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.